The differing amount of power between developer and management can really be felt in the quality of games that come out, varying from company to company, with series such as FIFA, Call of Duty and Battlefield really showing just how corporatized they are, whereas you can really feel the freedom and creativity from games by freer companies, such as Nintendo, Stress Level Zero, and the subject of our video today. The freedom given to developers can kind of be imagined by a slider. All the way to the right you can find games like FIFA, games that are so birthed from corporate greed that there is little to no artistic merit held within. However, the upside they have to them is that they're consistent. Deadlines are stuck to, and promises are at least kind of met. On the flip side, however, we have games such as Shovel Knight, where there was little to no corporate involvement, leading to a fantastic game with well thought out mechanics, but suffered in the sense of its unpredictability, causing multiple delays to its initial release and the release of the promised DLC. If we were to put Valve on the scale, they would be somewhere over here, with the best phrase for it I can think of being creative chaos. The best example being their now famous policy. All of Valve's desks have wheels on them. I know what you're thinking. What does this change? Why would simply having desks be movable create the aforementioned creative chaos? Well, it's the fact that that policy allows you to choose what you want to work on. You're not forced into making any specific thing while at Valve, so long as you're making something. This ensures that all projects Valve works on are made with the utmost passion, breathing creativity out of every frame, with masterpieces of game design such as the Half-Life series, Team Fortress 2 and Portal, just to name a few. This kind of polished quality has managed to launch Valve into being a gaming superpower, with every release being waited on with bated breath. However, this methodology when it comes to design has its drawbacks, as consistency became a big problem for the company, with no greater culprit than their signature franchise. Half-Life was the game to initially launch Valve into success, having a unique style to it that at the time wasn't seen before, focusing around keeping the gameplay uninterrupted in order to make the player feel as though they were the main character in their very own action movie. Upon the success of the game, they would go on to release several expansion packs, following side stories surrounding the events of the main game, and on the 16th of November 2004, they would release Half-Life 2, following long after the events of the first game, with them also releasing 2 episodes for the game, consisting of shorter, more segmented games that would follow up on one another. However, the problem comes in when you realize that the game was supposed to have 3 episodes, before the main story would have been concluded, with a third being delayed endlessly. With the game having been left on a cliffhanger, fans were left unsatisfied with the series, as even to this day, while a new entry has been made in the form of Half-Life Alyx, we still don't have a true resolution for this cliffhanger, almost 15 years later. This is indicative of the company's major dilemma. They make these incredible titles, but have trouble finishing what they started, which leads to them having a history of satisfied but unsatiated customers. Due to the nature of this style of workplace, projects are started, dropped, delayed, and put on hold frequently, so drumming up press, talking about it, or even teasing any kind of project before the last couple stages of development is a surefire way to get the community more and more angry at you if it doesn't deliver. For this reason, Valve have become notoriously uncommunicative even in their games as a service titles such as CSGO and Team Fortress 2, where it's extremely rare to see them communicating with the player base at all, with the Team Fortress 2 Twitter for instance having actually been largely silent for multiple years. However, while they might be as silent as a mouse officially, Valve tends to tease upcoming projects in quote-unquote accidental leaks through hidden files in other games, most commonly Dota 2, due to its use of Valve's new and current engine Source 2. These types of leaks have actually been confirmed by Valve employees to basically be their form of communication, as having something leaked while showing that something is in fact being worked on doesn't make any kind of actual promises to the player base, more so serving as rumor bait with just enough of a splash of legitimacy. Due to the lack of any major games being released from Valve in between 2013 and 2020, there became a common stigma surrounding them concerning their digital store Steam. Due to its near monopoly-like hold on the PC gaming market, people began to say that Valve no longer makes games at all, and is simply the company that made Steam. And while this isn't an invalid interpretation, I think of it in a different light. With Steam giving Valve the capital they need to stay afloat regardless of the games they themselves produce, they didn't have to worry as much about making sure they had at least some kind of release, and they could instead take their time and make sure they had something worthwhile prior to release, facilitating the kind of environment they're now famous for. While it's indisputable that Steam is the largest part of Valve's capital, it's also clear with their actions that it's not where the company's soul lies. Behind the scenes, it's clear the developers of Valve enjoy their time at the company, with most developers from the studio having the same kind of passion for their releases as many indie developers. An environment where creatives can simply be creative, work together, and have their projects given all the support they could need is all most developers could ever want when it comes to working in the industry. Not only does this approach make the work lives of the developers themselves better, but it also improves the games themselves, as to put it simply, passion is what fuels our industry, and passion is something that Valve has in spades. Valve is a very special company within the gaming landscape, and while there are definitely drawbacks to their inner workings, the output from the company simply cannot be ignored. With their treatment of staff being miles better than other companies in the industry, games being very highly rated, and platforms commonly becoming industry standard upon release, it's clear that this form of management style is the future for the gaming industry. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm only just starting this channel, so any kind of feedback would be genuinely appreciated. And if you liked what you saw, I encourage you to check out the other videos I posted alongside this one. That's all for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.